You've heard so many places or whatever that we were in Krishna's Lila and Goloka Vrindavan, and we became envious, and we left Krishna, and now we're being punished in the prison house in the material world. That's general ideas there in Christianity, and it's very prominent in Christianity. And Prabhupada did use that in his preaching, that idea of the prison house and punishment, to encourage us to surrender and get us to understand something about the inconceivability of the whole thing. Because the nature of Jiva Tattva, the identity of the living entity, is very difficult to understand. Jiva Goswami is telling in Sandarbhas that achintya shakti, inconceivable potency, unless you can accept the inconceivable potency of Krishna, and things are inconceivable, then you can't understand. So the Jiva, according to mostly all the Shastras, Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially Bhakti Sandarbha and Goswami writings, they're saying that the Nityabhara Jiva is eternally here in the material world. We've been here eternally.
We never saw Krishna.
No. And we can do bhajan. Krishna has given us the way of bhajan. We have some minute independence, very small, minute independence, by which we can do bhakti bhajan and attain a spiritual body and go to the spiritual world. And we never come from there again. There's so many verses, there's 4 or 5 verses in Gita, and everywhere it's telling that point. When you go there, you never return again. Because it's nitya. The spiritual world is nitya, and everyone living there is nitya. It's nitya dham, nitya siddhas. So now we are in this nitya mukta, we are eternally conditioned. Our place is always here. But we can go there. Like I may always lived in India. I was born in India. I've lived here forever. My mother's from India. My grandmother's from India. Everyone's from India. But you can make money and get a ticket and fly to Australia and live in Australia and never come back. Or rather, America. Many do. They never come back. So it's the same with the jiva. It says anadi bahirmukh. Anadi bahirmukh. No beginning. Anadi there is no beginning. Nitya means eternal. It's eternal. Never was there a beginning, middle, or end. The jiva is eternally in the material world, but his eternal stay here, this is the inconceivable part, his eternal stay here can end. So then it's not eternal, but that's the inconceivable part. Yes. But he doesn't end. His his rotating, and body after body after body ends. And then in his spiritual body he continues his eternality in the Nitya Dham. Right. The Nitya Vaikuntha Dham, and this is the Nitya Jagat Dham. Aprayam itastvanyam prakritim vidimeparam. This material energy, Krishna is saying in Gita, is always manifest and unmanifest. But it's eternal. What's going on? In most traditional Gaudiya parivars and movements, everyone is clear on the identity of the jiva. In some institutions there's some confusion, and there's differences of opinion even amongst the leaders. They have a divided view on this basic point of tattva, jiva tattva. But it's very clear in the Shastras, all the Shastras written over the last 500 years. It's very clear that the jiva is eternally in the material world. His eternal sojourn here he can transit from here and go to the eternal spiritual world. By bhakti bhajan, attaining purity of mind and heart, attaining Krishna prema, then he can go to Krishna's pastimes and get liberation. He'll get his sadhana siddha deha. He won't become nitya siddha, but he'll go to the nitya dham and he's called sadhana siddha, not nitya siddha.